All right, it's tarp replacement day. As you can see, the A-frames aren't too kind to these tarps here. These straps that go down the side keep the tarp together. As soon as you sever that, they just peel apart. That one got melted on the exhaust during a windy day. Most of the damage here is from wind, and something like this probably started as a small hole and then just kept getting caught on things. You can see that I stitched it together. So we got a new tarp. The stitching worked. I even stitched the side here. I think this tarp, just seeing how it acts with these stitches, I really think it's got a couple months left in it. I have some time today. My boss wants me to replace it, and he pays the bills, so I do what he tells me to. But you see here, this would become a problem too. I did stitch some here, but I would have to do some more stitching here, maybe with some bigger zip ties. So I'm gonna show you how I replace this. If you get one of these winding tubes here, there's a garage door spring in that. And those garage door springs are no joke. This will take your finger right off right now. If you have something wrapped around this or something like that, use a C-clamp sometimes, that thing will kick off and hit you in the face, and it will actually maim you. This can be very dangerous work. If you have this tube and it's not wound yet, like you're replacing this tube, you can take a heavy duty strap that you would see for like flatbedding, and what you would do is you would figure out which way it's gonna spin, take your strap and put it there, put half a dozen self-tappers through it, or find a bolt hole. Then you would wrap the strap around this like 3 or 4 times, and then you would start your count, and you would use the equation for circumference of a circle. You'd take the circumference of this, you'd have to use pi. You'd take the circumference of this in inches, you'd have to figure out the inches from, or feet, but it would be a fraction. And then you would take the distance, you know, from your rack back to your tube, and you would divide that by your circumference, and that's how many wraps you have to make. And then you should probably add another 4 or 5 wraps, or maybe even 10. And then what you would do is you would secure that strap somewhere up there on the tarp really well, and then you would roll your tarp back, and as you did that, it would wind this spring for you. So that's what you do if you're replacing this spring and the pipe here. I'm gonna show you how I do this without. So right now I still got some wraps on there. And this actually, under this duct tape, there's a little gear and it catches the tarp. And then you have to cut the tarp to get it out, which is where these cuts came from originally. So I'll set you up here. I'll show you how I'm gonna get this all the way unwound, how I'm gonna hold it. And hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have a new tarp and all of my flanges. Okay, so there you have it. Now I'm going to show you what I do to keep it in place. So as you can see there, it's totally loose now. Other than the weight of the chain still, has some weight on it, but it's loose. We're not in the clear right now. That could still let go on both ends. It could kick out. I could take my fingers off. Everything I do during this job, with no gloves, no jewelry, nothing loose. I probably should have some safety glasses on. Do not put your hand anywhere in there. Don't put your hand anywhere you wouldn't put your dude. Now there's 2 bolts up on the headache rack. You pop them out and slide that pipe out. I got to take these 2 bolts out and take this cap off. I got the pipe out on one side. I'm going to slide this tarp off, and then I'll slide the new tarp back on. I don't have to take the pipe completely off.